Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm CB Harris, and welcome back to Thursday's training tip. So today we're going to talk about Kydex and how to take care of it, or really just about any thermomold plastic. Kydex is a name brand, but for some reason we always lump all of those type of things together. There's a couple of different kinds. There's Boltron, there's Holstex, obviously the Kydex, and you know, there's a lot of different name brands, but it's basically the same type of stuff, and caring for them is going to be the same, and that's what we're going to talk about today: caring for your Kydex holster. Alright, so as you can see, we have a couple of examples here, and actually we have one it's injected molded plastic here, and treatment of it and taking care of it is pretty much the same as it's going to be for Kydex. So let's start out with the hybrid style. So this is a leather back, and it has Kydex on the front, it's shell, and I actually have a couple of different shells here. I have the one that's on here, and then I have another one that I can replace it with for holding a different handgun. So that's one good plus for this type of holster. Now this is an inside the waistband holster with the leather side against your skin, and the Kydex side will actually be against the inside of your pants. Now, one of the things with this type of hybrid holster that you need to remember is you got to take care of two things here. You got to take care of the leather, and you got to take care of the Kydex. So for the leather, you know, a good leather conditioner or a mink oil or something like that, and it should be just fine. Just do it on the outside. For the inside, honestly, you don't need anything there. You don't want anything that's going to irritate your skin or anything like that, and that's what's going to be against your skin. Over time, your sweat is going to soak into this, so be aware it may start to smell a little funny after a little while. But and if it starts to get like that, it gets annoying, I would actually just replace the leather, either contact the company. A lot of companies will sell just the backer to you. This one particularly is Old Faithful holsters. It's pretty good. It's actually really quite thick as far as the leather goes, and once it's broken in though, it's just as soft and as comfortable as anything else out there. So what we've done, actually what I'm going to explain here is what I've done on the back side here. I've taken a couple of spots off, but as you can see, what we have here is this is moleskin. Now if you're unaware about what moleskin is, you can buy it usually in the same section of department stores where like the shoelaces and that sort of thing is. It's for blisters. You put it in your shoes to give it a smoother surface, a place that won't irritate your skin and give you blisters or hot spots. And I put it on here just to protect your skin from where the screws are. Now another thing you might want to do, once you get the tension set where you want it, put a drop of blue Loctite on these screws just so that they won't back out of there. You don't want to use the red stuff or anything permanent. The blue Loctite works great. You can still actually remove that. It's a little bit tougher, but that's to be expected, I suppose. So also what I've done here on the inside, we have moleskin on the inside, and the reason for that was it's not to protect the finish of the handgun or anything like that. It was actually just to make inserting the handgun quieter. That's purely all it was. It doesn't snap into place like a typical Kydex holster would. It's a little muffled, just because it's a inside the waistband, a concealed carry type of holster there. I just wanted it to be a little quieter. I was testing it out and it seems to work quite well. So how do we take care of our Kydex or our whatever thermomold plastic that we're using? So one of the key things to remember is that it's thermomold plastic. So if you live in a hot area, or even if you don't and you're at the range in the summertime, make sure that you don't leave this in direct sunlight. It will start to get hot, especially the blacks and the darker colors. It will start to get really hot, enough where it will actually start to lose some of its retention capability, and you really don't want that. If you're going to be leaving it in your vehicle, just make sure you stuff it under the seat, put something over it, put it in the trunk or something like that, and it should be just fine. When you're talking about holsters like this that might have like retention screws or something like that, again, you might want to use some blue Loctite on them. Once you get it set to the tension that you like, put a little blue Loctite on there and it will hold it nice and firm, and you shouldn't have to worry about the screws backing out. Other types that have the rivets on there, truly you shouldn't have to do any sort of maintenance as far as the screws go or anything like that. If they start to come out, if you purchase this from a reputable company, they should fix that for free. Shouldn't be any problems. Really, as long as it's a reputable company, there shouldn't be any problems with that at all. Now, Kydex gets dirty. Kydex, for some reason, it's kind of a staticky type material and it attracts dust. So one of the things after you go to the range, especially if you're at an outdoor range that's a little dusty or something like that, just wipe it down with a cloth and it should be fine. If it for some reason the dust is just kind of moving around and not really moving off of there, get a damp rag or something like that and you can wash it off. If it's really bad, it gets mud on it or something like that, you can actually wash these. Don't wash it in a dishwasher, but you can use a mild dish soap or something like that and some warm water. Not hot water, obviously. So some warm water and you can wash it off. Just make sure it dries completely before you put your handgun back in there. Because obviously water and handguns are not a really good combination, so you want to avoid that. Now, one of the things after you've washed a holster like that, it starts to look a little dull. It's not as pretty as it was when you bought it. Now, if you want to bring that back, what you can do is take a little WD-40, spray it on a rag, and just wipe it down. You could actually spray it directly on the holster if you want to. I would be careful doing that, not to, get it on any of the screws or anything like that. But you could just wipe it down with that WD-40. It'll actually start to evaporate off, and it'll look pretty and lustrous again, just like, well, not like my hair. My hair isn't very lustrous, but what hair I have is lustrous, I guess I should say. Sorry, I digress. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got something out of it. Kydex is a great material for holsters. It is actually, in my mind, is one of the perfect materials for holsters. Now, a lot of people are going to say leather all the way. I'm not a big fan of leather per se. I mean, I have a holster like this, obviously, and I have a few other holsters that are leather. The problem I have is, especially like this, where it's right against your skin, that leather is going to soak up that moisture. You definitely need to make sure you take your handgun out of there at the end of the day. Don't leave it in there or that moisture will build up on your handgun, and you don't want that at all. And I would actually say that I wouldn't wear it too many days in a row like that, because that moisture is just going to keep building up and building up, and you need to eventually get that leather dried out. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it down in the comments section. I would love to hear from you guys. And be sure to come back next Monday for another Monday Sit Rep, and on Thursday for another Thursday's Training Tip, another video like this where we talk about tips, hints, and tricks, as well as some DIY projects. If you're not a subscriber and you want to watch more videos like this, search for that subscribe button and go ahead and give it a big old click. And if you enjoyed the video, I always appreciate it when you like and share. And until next time, take care and be safe.